Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Red and Blue News. Welcome to the Red and Blue Review. My name is Nick Philpott. I hope you're all well. You're joining us this Sunday evening alongside me. Of course, it wouldn't be the same without him. I've got a whole load of guests this evening, starting off with Lord Holyoke. Good evening, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. You doing good?
Good, jolly good. Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm just a little bit stressful because I'm producing and I'm pushing buttons and I'm bringing people in and all that
you
sort of
sound
stuff.
like Lisa when she goes, "Oh, I've got to do the washing up, I've got to do the washing, I've got to do the hoovering, the ironing." So I mean,
and also, we are also joined this evening by Miss down in the Carrots from the West Country, Ben Allen. Good evening, mate.
You all right, mate? Well, you could always help her, Joel. You want Mang then?
Oh, blimey! Didn't take long. These two are swiping at each other already. Fucking hell!
I'll pay for it. She can use it. All right.
Oh, God.
Did I just hear Joel say you could have paid for something?
Oh no, she's watching as well.
Is she? Is she on there? Who's watching? Listen, and I've got to say a very warm welcome back again to another sidekick of ours, Ian Lyons. Welcome, mate.
Psychic?
Yeah, no, not psychic, sidekick.
Oh, I was going to say, I knew you were going to say that, but obviously.
I'll do the gags on this show, okay? I'll do the gags. So, just for the sake of for Paul Rundle's benefit, what are you drinking there, Ian?
Baileys.
Baileys in a cup. Ben?
Oh, it's a cheeky Shiraz. It's a oaky little number with fruity afternotes, a little tannin.
Oh, stop it. There's children watching you, pain in the arse. And I'm drinking a Coke, and he's only doing that to wind you up, Paul. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Red and Blue Review. Thank you for joining us. Wherever you're watching in the world, we're delighted to have you on board. Crystal Palace snatched victory at West Ham as Jordan Ayew had an 87th minute goal awarded by the VAR system at the London Stadium. The strike was initially ruled offside by the linesman, idiot.
Cheat.
After Ayew, cheated idiot. Ayew stabbed in from Martin Kelly's header, but the decision was overturned after a lengthy VAR review. Sebastian Haller had given West Ham the lead when he swept home, but Palace equalised through Patrick Van Aanholt's penalty before Ayew secured all 3 points. The win temporarily moved Roy Hodgson's side into the top 4 of the Premier League while ending West Ham's unbeaten run. I'm forever blowing bubbles. Stick that up your arse. Get your bubbles up your arse. Gents, Ben, I'll start with you. Initial thoughts on the victory. Just a quick overview of yesterday's victory. What do you think?
It was hard fought. I think both sides, West Ham had their chances. Thought there was some excellent displays from unusual people, unexpected places, and absolutely delighted. Who wouldn't be with a win, especially at the taxpayer stadium over that lot?
Joe, your thoughts on it? Because I know you saw the whole game, you see.
I know. It's a rarity.
It's surprising enough.
Echo. Well, yeah, I'm at work, and I say sometimes unless I go to the game. But no, what Ben just said. Yeah, it was a hard fought. I thought we rode our luck, and we'll talk about the excellent saves and not the saves that he knew nothing about that kept us in the game. But yeah, I thought I said 2-2. I thought was going to be the result yesterday. And I was convinced that 2-1 up that we was going to concede a goal once the referee put 10 minutes on or whatever. But yeah, no, very well hard fought win, and it was better. It was a better result than when we were there last year. Me and you, Ian.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I was still having nightmares about that. Yeah, no, same with Joel, same with Ben. Unexpected displays from certain people, and a win's always welcome, isn't it?
Right, well, I'm going to kick this off, boys. Thank you for that. I'm going to kick this off. We're going to do this a little bit differently. We all cover the game. We all go through the notes that Ian's very kindly supplied us, all emails. But I want to kick this off. You're talking about people doing surprising things, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you yesterday afternoon, I was watching the game here at home, and I saw most of it live, okay? And I was actually in the lounge with my son, who also fell asleep during the first half because it was boring. And I'm thinking, God, the manager's got this tactically all wrong. It's a poor display, very weak. Nobody's really up for it. I'm considering turning it off. I'm considering going to do something else. But then as time went on, I started thinking to myself, do you know what? Maybe he's got this right. And as we went through the game and exactly played out how I would think the manager and his tactics he would want it to be. He stifled them. Ben, I'm going to come to you first. He stifled them in the first half and did what he had to do in the second half. Good lineup. Let's start with the lineup, Ben, if you'd be so kind. Tell me what you thought about the lineup, and was there any real surprises in there? And then we're going to talk about the manager, if you don't mind.
Well, no, we discussed it in the chat, didn't we? I posted a lineup on the page, and also in the comments posted another one that we kind of banded around in our chat. Also, we got told kind of middle of the week that McCarthy was starting, so that kind of gives us a hand. But I always thought he was going to keep Schlupp. That was always going to be, is Schlupp going to go out or is he going to keep him in? So we shoehorned Schlupp back into the side, brought McCarthy in, and then dropped MacArthur back into the Luka Milivojevic role as the defensive holding position. With Hodgson,
Joe,
what do you expect?
Sorry, Ben.
No,
Joe, any other surprises in the actual lineup?
Not really. I'm glad McCarthy came in for Luka. I thought he had a really good game instead of him. I can't think that Luka would have had a better game than McCarthy in that position. So that was pleasing. Again, I thought we had quite a few people that played well. A couple that had their usual games. But yeah, I thought I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the way we set up. Like you say, tactically, he got it right. You can't say he didn't. But on the other end, we should have been 2-0 down. That's what we should have been. Two pretty much worldies kept us in that game. So, had we been 2-0 down, would have been the usual mayhem on social media, and we'd have all been saying it's crap again. So maybe the tactics were spot on with a huge amount of luck, some good skill from our keeper, and you can't really moan about the finishing because the geezer has got it on target. Yarmolenko's shot is point blank is on target. To be honest with you, anywhere else, 6 inches left, right, it's a goal. So maybe the tactics were spot on.
My apologies.
But yeah, so I thought that the team was good yesterday. The team setup was good, and what was encouraging was that they grew into the game. We got better and nullified them, which was good.
Okay, Jill, question for you. I know that you're not an advocate. Your views are that we have got currently the best squad that we've ever had at Crystal Palace, but you're not convinced about not necessarily the quality of the manager, but the age of the manager. Your views?
Yeah, I'll tell you what we do. We'll get the slight negatives out of the way, and then we can be more positive about the whole thing. So, for me, look, Wilf looks stifled. Wilf looks frustrated most of the time. It's really weird. Our wing backs are they wing backs? Are they? I mean, if they are, they need to be doing it for 90 minutes, not just when we need to pull a goal back. Because we are quite frightening down that left hand side when Patrick Van Aert feels that he wants to attack, and Schlupp feels like he wants to, I don't know, be more positive. The thing about those two going forward, they're really good going forward. Going back and defensively, they are almost appalling. So I don't know, but my thing about a younger manager, a more hungry manager, would be that our team I think Roy's fallen out with Townsend. Right, we've gone from our player of the year, scoring one of the best goals ever in one of the biggest results we've had for 25 years, right, to sticking him on the bench like a sulky school kid. Right now, sometimes you have to do that. I tell you, this is reminiscent of Punchin. When Punchin apparently got their right arse of him, went to him and got the ump and said, you know, as club captain, you should tell me you're dropping me. And apparently, this is what I've heard from a very good source, that Hodgson just went, like, get out. You know, you're captain, just go, don't trouble me with crap like that, get out. And that was almost, well, it's pretty much the end of Punchin, because Punchin got the ump about it and then Roy binned him. So I think that there's something going on behind the scenes where they've had words, and there's no reason for Townsend to go as bad as what, you know, supposedly as bad as what it was. And then he comes on.
I mean, his form hadn't been great so far this year, though, had it?
Yeah, but if you've got crap going on behind the scenes, you know, and all of a sudden you're going from like almost a player of the year, scoring, like I said, scoring worldies and setting up and assisting all the time, you know, to being sub, you know, there's something going on. You don't just look. You can play yourself into form. When he come on and he was the different for me, he was the difference yesterday, 100%. Because last year he would have come on and he would have jinked inside, and whacked one in either the top corner or into the back of the stand. But yesterday he jinked inside and crossed it. You know, so maybe there's been an attitude change where he said, like, I don't want you shooting all the time. You need a cross. So yesterday it worked. It was perfect. But I don't know.
Talk to me about the manager. Your views on Hodgson. Have we got the right man in the job, or do we need somebody younger, as Jill suggests?
Well, if I cover the number of points that have gone on before, I agree with the boys that, you know, we pretty much called the starting lineup. So there weren't really many surprises there. I'm so pleased the way that the midfield three of McCarthy and Kiyate plays. I can't see a way back. I know that Roy being Roy, Luka will just walk straight back into that team, but he shouldn't be allowed to, because the old adage, you never change a winning team. With regards to Hodgson himself, I think, again, he has a lot of strengths, but he has a lot of limitations, and I think that's one of them. I think his unblinding loyalty to certain players, I think, can be detrimental at times. I wouldn't necessarily agree with Joe about Townsend. Townsend himself has said that he's not playing well enough. He's not got good enough form, and that he needs to buck his ideas up. And it's refreshing to hear that from a player. You would never have heard that from Punchin. You would have heard, my belt's worth more than you, more often than not. You know, so with regards to Hodgson, he's the best that we've got at the minute, but we need to put in place some succession planning. If it isn't in already, it needs to be done, because the more months that go by, the more chance we've got of being stuck.
Ben, what would you do if you had the opportunity, sir? If you had a magic wand now, Ben, would you change that manager, or would you give him a new contract? Is there anything to be concerned about, though he hasn't signed a new contract yet?
Well, there's lots of different factors in play, isn't there? As it stands, 6th in the league, unbeaten at home, great defensive record, winning game. No, why would you even think about changing your manager? With the current ownership in place, I wouldn't change the manager, because what he does is stability, and he's just a guaranteed Premier League place. And at the moment, that's what this ownership wants. They don't want to build. They don't want to build a stand. They don't want to build a squad. They don't want to develop. They want to sell. So if you're going to sell something, you sell something with a stable foundation, and that's Hodgson. If you get an oligarch come in, or an Arab prince, which we've spoken about, then yes, you bring in an expansive manager that's got unlimited funds to build that kind of squad. But at the minute, we're functional, and that's Hodgson. I don't think age has anything to do with whether he's 17 or 17. You know, as you're a footballer, if you're old enough, you're good enough. And Hodgson's record stands out, doesn't it? So I wouldn't even contemplate changing him.
Well, he's certainly got. I mean, he's certainly rebuilt his reputation since he lost the England job. That's, in my view, that's for sure. Listen, I just want to, boys, keep your eye on the chat, please. There's lots of comments going on in the chat, and I think the funniest one so far is actually from Dan Simmons. He said, "What a sexy lineup! It's nearly as sexy as our current back four." But Neil Costa saying most satisfying thing was the YouTube after the game. I've seen a YouTube clips, and they are funny. What did you call it earlier, Ben?
Boiling piss.
Boiling.
Piss, yeah, piss boiling. That's your Twitter feed.
There is a
CPFC boiling piss.
There you go.
So Steve Goddard, I need to address this. I need to address because I think we've got a snowflake in here. So you're saying it's obviously me, right? So you're saying crazy ageism, fellas. If you're good enough, you're young enough.
I think that might have been directed at me. To be fair,
well, I'm not worried.
It's a wily old fox.
Yeah, whatever.
And I just said, "Is that old as roadkill?"
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's just ageism. Jesus, like if you had the I'll tell you what the difference is. This is for me, right? If you had Eddie Howe in charge of us, we would almost get with the team that we had last year and this year. We would almost be going for Europa League. Everyone turned around and said, because all we are short of is, I think, is a left back, a real left back, not someone that's been turned into a left back, and a striker. We were saying a striker, we need two strikers because if one gets a striker and one gets injured, which is generally the Palace way, stick him in a Palace top, gets injured. But again, why aren't we just getting rid of the deadwood and using all that money, even if we just have to pay these people off? You offer, if they've got 60 quid left on their contracts and you just offer them 40 quid, get them out and use all that money collectively that you can save. Otherwise, you quite literally do what Chelsea did to the fat Dutchman and don't let him in the grounds. Just kick him out. Go, we've got to pay you. You might as well stay at home. Stay at home, hold their registration. All they do is they just go out and they can't play football. So for me, we need to, irrespective of who owns the club, we need to make some strides forward. Someone needs to grab the club by the balls, right? And if we've got players that are playing 5 games a year for, I don't know, let's just call it 20 grand. There's kids on 20 grand at our club, I'm sure of it. But that's more than £1 million a year. If we get rid of 4 of those, that's a striker. That's a European striker coming to our club. I'm just saying, if we get them on loan, we just pay all their wages, with a view to buy. There's just maybe I look at things too simply, just too simply. If I simplify things too much in my own head, I have to sometimes to try and get around it. But I just can't understand why we've got, while we've still got Wickham, while we've still got Benteke. Seriously, I don't think they could kick each other if you put them in a sleeping bag. I'm telling you. How much is that? How much is that? Is that 200 grand a week? £200,000 a week.
Give Ian a chance to respond to that, Ben. Joe.
Okay, no.
Ian?
Well, I was going to say, I think I posted yesterday that just think where we would be with a striker, but we are in a position where we're still punching above our weight. With our next 5 games are against the only 5 clubs above us in the league, and I think that's the time at which we'll know where we are. At the minute, I think things are slightly skewed. We've done well. We could be even better if that goal hadn't gone in a bit of the last game against Wolves. But I agree. We need a striker. Looking at Batshuayi today, 1 shot, 1 goal. But Ollie Watkins now, who was it I saw was after Ollie? Oh, Sheffield United apparently after Ollie Watkins now for more, well, just slightly more than we offered. But they're going to have to up that to 20 million. We really need, just as succession planning with Roy is concerned, we really need to have a plan. I know Ben would, argue that it's all on hold because we're waiting for investors. And I have some sympathy with that view. We're very much in a catch-22. So let's not go overboard. Let's understand where we are. Jill touched on it earlier. If it weren't for Greater, we could easily have been 2-0 down and out the game yesterday. Is it papering over the cracks? Let's see. But it's interesting times, isn't it? Listen, I'd rather be where we are than where we could be.
Ben, are we papering over the cracks?
No, we are where we are. Table doesn't lie. I would say, talk about going for Eddie Howe would be chasing the Europa spot.
Well, that was an example. That was an example.
The league table says that we are chasing the Europa League spot. So the league does. But talking about getting players out and moving them out, fortunately or unfortunately, we don't run like American football where players are contracted. You can't just say get rid of A to get B. A has to agree to go. And Benteke's in the last year of his contract. He's not going to go anywhere. If we've either got to do what we did with Wickham, which is he's not going to be here in 2 or 3 years' time, but they don't want him to leave for nothing. So it's kind of protecting an asset. And from what I kind of understood and was alluded to during the transfer window, if we'd have got a striker in, Wickham would have gone out on loan. So
thanks, mate.
Unless someone wants to come in and buy these players, who's going to buy Benteke on 120 grand a week?
Exactly the point that Eddie Boyle's made in the chat.
He's got a year left.
Can't we just buy his contract out?
That's what I just said. Can we just pay it out for a percentage and then he can go and earn some more money somewhere else?
He has to agree to that.
But we have to have the money in place. We have to have the money in place to pay him, which is why we're running at a 35 million pound a year loss. Because
we're not now.
Well, we were last year, and Steve Parish said if we don't sell again, as in Wilf, then we will run. He said it already that we will run again. We are running at a 30 to 35 million pound a year loss, and at the end of this year, we will have another percentage added onto that if we stay in the Premier League for bonuses. The bonuses kill us every year. Every single year that we stay in the Premier League, every player in our squad, in our club, will get a bonus. Every single player goes, and again, Parish alluded to, right the way down through the whole of the club. Performance bonuses go right the way through the club, right into the offices. It's honestly.
So, in that case, Joel, sorry to cut across you. In that case, would it be in the club's favour to finish high, or would it be in the club's favour to finish 17th, so the bonuses aren't quite as crippling?
Well, it doesn't. I don't think it matters. I think it's just a case of staying in the Premier League. Look at what we're doing. We've not done anything. Our squad has hardly changed in 3 years, and we're running at absolute fortunes where people are having to borrow money. They said that we paid money back to a loan, a big loan, and directors' money. So we paid back Parish, the 2 Americans put money in, and we've borrowed money as well. That's what the AWB money. That's what people can't get around. Why we never went out and spent £30 million on a new right back. It's because we didn't have that money. It paid covered debts for last year. So we must be. Parish has already turned around and said that we will be running at a loss. And again, I spoke to someone else as well. And if we don't, sorry, just a second. And if we don't have a good cut run and don't sell out every single week, then we will run at that same loss. I've put a text in our chat from someone that sent me that. So, it's just the way that it is without this super stand that won't be built until 2028. Until, we've got, I'm going to say, and I used the term the other day, real billionaires, people with a bit of money to burn. Because these guys have just come in and spent whatever it is, 40, 50, 60, 70 million quid for a slice of the club. And all they're doing is just lending us a few quid here and there. We need to invest. And I said again, before we start building £150 million stands, that we need to have a decent squad that's going to finish us higher up, try and win a cup, an extra 20 million for winning the FA Cup, whatever you get. Try and get into Europe and get part of their squillions. And then we can throw the money at the stands. Then we can put pretty glass around it and double the price of it. It's just... Right. Anyway, let's get back to
let's get into the game in a second. I just want to do a couple of things if I can. We have some news, internal news that I want to share with everybody out there. There's 100 people watching us live this evening. Wherever you are watching in the world, I know we've got people looking in New Zealand and Australia. Wherever you are, Simon Cribb is in Canada. Hi, guys. Thank you to each and every one of you. Big news from inside the Red and Blue News and Red and Blue Review team that our wonderful producer, Greg Ellis, and his beautiful partner, Ella, have just given birth to a couple of baby boys, Milo and Heath. Mum and the 2 babies are both fine. Congratulations, mate, from everybody in Red and Blue News. I know it's echoed by the boys here. So we are chuffed to pieces. We've seen years, and your family looks absolutely beautiful, mate. So come on the show and tell us all about it in a couple of weeks' time when you're ready. The other bit of thing I thought I'd just touch on before we get into Ian does the first half for us is, can I offer my congratulations to 5-year plan? 5-year plan have been going now for, I think it's about 9 years, something like that, and they've just completed their 300th show. Is it 13 years they've been going?
Yeah.
Listen, they're doing podcasts. They're doing podcasts. We're doing lives. Okay, we're not in competition with each other. So on my behalf, okay, can I extend my congratulations to the guys at 5-year plan? You do a cracking job and well done. Ian, cover the first half for me briefly, mate, please.
Okay, well, the game started slowly, each side eyeing each other up for the first 10 minutes. We then started to come into it, causing them some problems down the flanks before the final ball, was always being snuffed out. They closed us down at that point quite well. I thought Declan Rice had a superb game. Even though he did give the penalty away, I thought he's a quality player. At the other end, Guaita was called into action a couple of times, pulling off a couple of point-blank saves. And I think he was done a disservice because on the face of things, actually in the game, you think, oh, my God, it's straight at him. But it's one of those saves. He actually stuck his arm out. And I know that Ben mentioned in our own chat earlier that it was almost akin to Speroni's save against Brighton. I mean, it's not the first time he's done that. He actually watches as he's making himself and then puts his arm out, a really strong arm. So there were a couple of saves. I think the first one was for Yarmolenko, and then the second one was a deflective clearance that cleared and then came back off one of our defenders for a corner. Our best chance came in the 35th minute with Wilk's mazy run. He had Cresswell on toast for the previous 5 minutes, got in around him to the byline, did a step over in such a tight space, and then Schlaps presented himself 4 yards out, 3 yards out from goal. Clearly has to expect the pass and didn't expect the pass from Wilf, and then tamely just chipped it. Even though it was goal bound, it was cleared off the line. And then just before half time, McCarthy, as we already alluded to, who was a real positive from the game, his movement, his quality on the ball, and his tenacity in the tackle. He had a great effort from about 25, 30 yards. Bit of a save for the cameras, as Joel would say. But nevertheless, it's nice to see someone having a pop from distance and actually being able to hit the target. So that's pretty much the thing, then it was 0-0 at half time.
Boys, you two, anything you'd like to add about the first half? Yeah, perfect, mate. Anything you guys want to add, Ben?
Go first of all to Guaita. That save, as I said in our chat, it was reminiscent of Speroni, and he's kind of the perfect blend, if you will, of Speroni and Nigel Martin for me. He's got the reactions of Speroni, which is pinpoint, and the physical presence that Martin had, and like the shot stopping ability. He's absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. And statistically, he's 26 games now. He's played, not made an error leading to a goal, which is the highest goalkeeping stat for the Premier League. So
interesting, because Matthew Lucas in the chat just said, bring back Hennessy.
Who did that?
Yeah.
I'm joking, boys. I'm joking, but it did go a little bit tumbleweed there.
just to go back to
sorry, Ben.
Just to go back to Schlapp, where he could have presented himself. I think there's only 2 or 3 players in the entire Premier League that would have got that ball across how Wilf did. I thought he was going to get snuffed out for a corner. To pull that skill off and then get the ball across, I think it probably caught Schlapp by surprise. To be honest with you, he should have done better, but
and on his right foot as well.
And it is just a testament to how good
footballer
and off form, out of sorts Wilf is, that he still can pull out something that's absolutely world class.
Do you think Sorry, Nick. Do you think he's out of sorts and he's still gutted about not getting his move that he was obviously promised?
No, I don't think he is. I think Hodgson's trying to play him in a slightly different role, if I'm honest, and I don't think it suits him. He is our one outlet, isn't he? He's the one player that we've got that genuinely scares defenders, and he's got pace and skill in abundance. But it seems like the shackles are on him a little bit. Whether that's because of the move, I don't know. He would tell you no. Hodgson would tell you no. But I think the only way we really know how unhappy he is in January.
Yeah, when he leaves.
I don't think he will. I think we'll keep him till summer, as we've all kind of alluded to. I think there'll be a deal
I think he will do as well.
Chelsea.
Yeah, I saw a good tweet yesterday with I don't remember, it was one of the betting companies that said Wilf said he wants to play European football, and there was a picture of Hodgson saying, "Hold my beer," as if to say, because you're ready to fourth. It's like, hang on a minute, strong in it a little bit, but yeah, no, like I say, I think Wilf's slowly coming out of his self-imposed
Sulk.
I wouldn't say sulk, but genuinely upset. It looked like he was almost promised something, a bit like Balassi. I think Balassi was promised, stay one more season, you get your move, and he did. He obviously got the big move to Everton. We got the big money, got the big move. So, but maybe he's still a little bit stressed that we priced him out of the market. But then when you're thinking that Harry Maguire missing open goals like he did at 85 million quid today, and then Wilf can turn the game on a sixpence at any time, he's definitely worth all that money. But it is what it is.
Matthew Luca, hang on a second, Ben. Matthew Luca in the chat is saying we need a song for Guaita. I understand the guys in the HFSA actually came up with one for Joel Ward. I don't know the details of it, but apparently it was quite good. Sorry, Ben, you were about to say, mate?
I was following on from Joel, which is Harry Maguire. Man United spent 80 million quid on him. How much did Arsenal spend on Luis?
Pepe. Oh.
How much did they spend on Luis, their centre back? And we've got the best free transfer of the summer, of the century in Gary Cahill.
What's it to come on to that in a minute? Can we do that now then? Gary Cahill?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Firstly, I've got an interesting stat. I was sent it today. Lee Gilbert. Really good stat about Gary Cahill. Gary Cahill is the only Gary in the Premier League.
Is that the stat?
Who knew?
That's a hell of a stat.
Lee, you've beaten me to any stat that I might have prepared today, mate. Bloody hell.
Who knew? That's fantastic. I echo what you just said then, Ben. Gary Cahill, we said it when it was a massive furore, didn't we? And what you can people can go.
We did. Yeah.
We turned around and said that the guy's won the European Cup. He's played for England at the highest level. He has shown an unbelievable side to us that we didn't. He is cool, calm, collected, skillful. No wonder he played Chelsea at the height of when they were good 5 years ago. He's an unbelievable player. And he reminds me, do you remember when Mickey Droy came from Chelsea at the end of his career? Over to us. He was just a mountain, and he just showed us, Christ, that if we had them players, like the years before, West Ham fans giving it that we've got a load of has-beens and this, that and the other. Maybe. But it doesn't really matter. If McCarthy gets fit, I'm killing him, look, I'm killing him. Go on, have a go.
No. Has-beens West Ham fans. So who's our centre-half? James Tompkins, Checker Kawase, has-beens. Yeah, well, we'll have more of your has-beens, boys. Send them over. Sorry, John. Are you interrupted, John?
No, go on, Nick.
No.
right. I was, I know. I was just going to go on and say, yes, completely agree with Cahill. And now I think an unsung hero, it's certainly in the last two games, is Kelly. I think he and Kelly together, Kelly is just a footballer's footballer in that he does just the basics so very well, doesn't get above himself, and he just gets on and does his job. Very similar, Ward's very similar. And him and Cahill, and if we can get Tompkins fit and back, I can't see it. Roy will never do it. We've spoken about it, but there's a back three ready to nation. Clearly, the weak link is left back in that defensive unit.
I honestly think I'm coming to you now, Ben. But I think the manager's got a bit of a dilemma ahead of him when it comes to getting Sacco and Tompkins back in the team, because what the boys have just said about Kelly, they're both absolutely right. He's got a bit of a selection dilemma when they're all fit, isn't he, Ben?
What a problem to have. I'd rather have it than an injury crisis than not have any. You've got 4 very, very good centre backs, and the thing about Kelly is that Cahill has made him better, and at the minute they are just such a pairing. They're just dominant, and they absolutely dominant. And it's funny that even for the second half for the goal, it was Kelly that was up winning the header. You know, with previously we wouldn't have had him; he wouldn't have gone past the halfway line. But when you've got someone like Cahill at the back, an anchor, he's just go forward. He is that good.
And I think it's also worth pointing. I think it's also worth pointing out. Yeah, we're talking about the 2 centre halves. Okay, the frailties of Patrick Van Aanholt, which obviously he scored a penalty, which I want to talk about next. Or Ian, I want you to cover the second half briefly, if you don't mind. But the one person we haven't really touched on tonight is Joel Ward. Now, don't forget, this guy is the guy that was he's the substitute, if you like, for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who obviously been ill and it's completely disappeared. Is Joel Ward, apart from the stooping header last weekend, I think he's been outstanding. Do you not, Joel?
Joel Ward, it's just been he's brilliant. Listen, before Aaron come along, it's almost like a freak for us, Aaron coming along. But Joel Ward really let us down. The guy, as a person, is a good person. He's not. He isn't malicious. He's not spiteful. He isn't brash. He's a very wholesome bloke, and he is a family man, and everything. You can't say a bad word about him. On the pitch, he's honest. He won't deliberately go out to injure somebody, and he will always try his best. And I think, he scored that. Saying he scored, he ended up being given an own goal, but he was there just lately. He's sort of been up there to cause threats and get forward a little bit. So I've always liked Joel Ward, and I've said on many occasions, he was used as a utility player. I think by Portsmouth, I think he played everywhere apart from in goal. So I like him a lot, and I think again him and Kelly across that back, with them 2 playing at any one time, is always going to be good for us. And if we can put some quality experience, which we've got with Cahill and Tompkins, and remember Scott Dang. We've forgotten that we've got him, and we've literally got 5 centre backs now. Do you remember 2 years ago when we didn't have any? We were at an absolute crisis. Where we had 3-4 injuries and the players out for the season 3, 4, 5 months, and it's what. And again, like you said to earlier, what a problem to have now. We've got at least 4. Well, we've got at least 3 fit. Another 2 coming back. So,
in the chat,
can anyone play centre forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, didn't Scott Dan score a few goals for us one year? Joe, can you just keep your eye on the chat for us, Joe, next? And I just want to mention something in there. Kel Gilbert says, Joel loves our club and cares. And do you know what, Kel? I look forward to meeting you on Wednesday night. But I think you've actually got a great point there. He cares. He's got the club running through his veins, a bit like we all have, I suppose, and everybody watching us tonight. And there's still 100 people watching. Ian, do the second half for me, mate, please.
Okay, very briefly, the breakthrough came 9 minutes into the interval, or after the interval, I should say, following a superb West Ham move. To be fair, it was a really good move. Wilf lost it. I think we were looking at it earlier. Was it Wilf and Schlupp, Ben?
Wilf and
Ayew. Wilf and Ayew. And Wilf tried to drag it back, lost it. They both looked at each other, and then West Ham won the ball. And some great interplay, some great first-time touches. They got lucky with a couple of them, but in amongst it all, there were 2 fabulous passes from Declan Rice through the lines with nice pace and accuracy, which actually advanced them up the pitch. Went out wide to our left back, and needless to say, our left back was there in person, but not in spirit. Allowed the cross to get in, and there were, at the time the cross came in, there were 8 Palace players in the box, and yet none of them were marking Haller, and he managed to squeeze it through Gaeta's legs. So 1-0 up, some would say on the balance of play at the time that they were probably worth it, or it was a fair reflection of the game. We then got ourselves level just after the hour when Czech Kyoto's flick hit the raised arm of Rice in the area. He's arguing that, I didn't touch my arm at first, and then clearly he's had to concede it's touched his arm. And what I really love about both decisions is that after the game, that horrible little twat, Noble, couldn't even, as years ago, he would have argued until he was blue in the face that it was unjust, it was this, it was that, and he just had to say, we were unlucky, which is a great thing about the technology now. Go on, Ben.
I'm going to ask a quick question, yes or no. When Van Aanholt stood up to take the penalty, Joe, you've got to answer it, and Nick, did you think Van Aanholt would score?
Definitely not. Oh, Gill's just doing something at the moment. I'll take that. No, I didn't think he would. I didn't think he would in a million years. I thought it was a bit of a strange choice for him to take it anyway. Jill, I will bring you back in a second. Just bear with me a second. I couldn't work out why he'd actually chosen Van Aanholt to take that penalty. He is coming. I promise you now. Joe is still with us. That was something I was doing in the background. Joe, we had
a discussion. It's been discussed all through the week. Is if Palace got a penalty without Luka, who would take it?
Yeah.
And I don't think I heard the name Van Aanholt anywhere. But what a fantastic penalty!
It was a great penalty. Joe,
your thoughts?
Yeah. Again, like I say, no one said PVA, and when he had the ball, I sat there. I was like, I was double face palming, thinking, oh my God, what is he doing? But yeah, I mean, what a penalty! Keeper ain't saving that, even if he goes the right way. So
I think if he had missed that probably would have been the end of any fan sympathy towards Van Aanholt, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
he had the best game up to him.
That would have been it for him. So I'm massively pleased for him. But what's all that for? What was that for?
I don't know.
What was all that? Do that again, Ben.
He did that hammers. That's what West Ham idiots do when they do the shirt reveal, innit?
Yeah, that's what they are. They're the Irons. I honestly think he was taking the piss out of West Ham and the Irons.
If someone knows, can they put in the chat? It might have some deeper meaning.
Joe, have you managed to have a look at the chat, mate?
Yeah.
Ian, I'm coming back to you, mate. Ian, I'm coming back to you, mate.
There's loads of it. I mean, it's just people echoing what we've been saying. Jordan O'Day said it's a good penalty by PVA. Cahill Gilbert said West Ham wouldn't have expected PVA to take that. Neil Chatterjee said PVA take all the free kicks and corners, so must strike the ball well. Rob Donovan said best finisher at the club. Don't know who that is, but anyway. And then Graham Daniels said PVA has a good goal scoring record, so I was confident. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, he is a good. We've seen him finish, seen him go forward and finish. So, and then Jamie Ward says a great pen, though, lads. Yeah, definitely. John Paul Whelan said he thought MacArthur would take it. And then Andy Lobo said that's his celebration. Come to think of it, I think that is his celebration. I think I've seen that before. And if it isn't, then Max Francis said that's definite shithousery from him, which would be better if that was.
No, Michael Curran saying it's from the Black Panther movie, the Marvel movie, which PVA and his son are into. Thanks for that, mate. And Joe, I'm sorry I dropped you down. Ian, finish up in the second half for me, or carry on in the second half for us?
Well, just finishing off on Van Aanholt. Since his debut for Palace in January 17, no defender has scored more Premier League goals than PVA, who's on 12, level with Marcos Alonso. So, and only one of those is a penalty. So that's not too bad, is it?
How many has he scored?
Go on. 12.
12.
Is that for Palace or for 12 Premier League goals?
Yeah, for Palace.
He scored 12 goals for us.
Since his debut for Crystal Palace, that's right.
Yeah.
Since 2017, he's got 2/3 of the goals that Benteke's got. And he's our left back.
Well, I said 3 weeks ago, put him on the left wing. Put Schlupp left back. put him on the left wing, because going forward is a completely different animal.
We digress, gentlemen.
And I said, no.
right, so,
we did this earlier. Go on. Right, okay, so that's 1-1. We're back in the game. Then with 86 minutes after Townsend had come on, he turned away, facing away from play, and suddenly pivoted, swung it in with his left foot at the far post. And who's there? Our centre-back, our unsung centre-back as well, ready to knock it down into the path of Ayew, who just squeezed it under whatever his name was. I can't remember the guy's name now, their keeper. And then all hell breaks loose for 2 seconds before the linesman's flag goes up. Cheating linesman.
Offside. Yeah, cheated. So, and then a big cheer goes up from the spammers, and then it goes to VAR. And then it's like a 2-minute exercise on geometry and where people can actually technically score a goal from what part of their body. And we get it by the merest of millimetres. But nevertheless, that is the whole point of technology. You know, the goal line technology was controversial at first. And now when it's given, the first goal Chelsea scored today, no one argues about it anymore. They just accept it and get on with it. And this is what will happen with VAR sooner or later. 2-1.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Joe, you go next.
No. Go on, Ben, go on. And then I want to read out the funniest thing on here on the chat tonight.
What I don't understand is that my read of the game is that level is onside.
It is.
So why was he called offside when even at the naked eye it looked like it was level?
Home team bias. Anyway, getting off that, Matt Miller has turned around and said, "Are we going to discuss Tekker's speeding fines? Clearly, he can move."
Well, not on the pitch.
No, behind Matt is only behind the wheel of a car, mate. Yeah. Are we going to discuss his speeding fines?
Fantastic. Yes.
Well, actually, just finishing off on the game itself, the last bit I wanted to say was Benteke came on with 6 minutes to go. All he had to do was run like a dog chasing a ball for the last 6 bloody minutes.
He looked lost,
and
didn't
then he gets booked. He's got an awful first touch and loses the ball and just stands there for 3 of the minutes. It was horrendous.
For a yellow card.
Yeah, it was just, and I just think, oh no, please. All my sympathy is now drained for that guy. You know, if he can't even on however many thousands of pounds a week it is, can't even run for 6 minutes, you know, that's ridiculous.
I know, it's a bit of a
So
strange
Matthew Luka has turned around and said, bring in the academy left back, Tyrek Mitchell, and push for
Tyrek Mitchell.
Tyrek Mitchell is a good player.
I think he's a great player. And I think with 3 solid pros like Cahill, Kelly and Ward, I think he would do an AWB and I think he would shine.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll endeavour over the next couple of weeks to have a look at some of these young fellas in the 23s and we'll have a chat with them. We'll try and have a chat about them, right? We'll find out a little bit and then we'll get us lot to find out how good.
Hold on, what's all this wee stuff? Aren't you going somewhere next week?
It's the royal we, isn't it? Obviously, I'm not. I'm going to be in a pool.
Clearly.
But what I'm saying is, we've got behind the scenes. We have a few people, statos and stuff. So and Steve Goddard said Benteke certainly knows how to get 3 points or 6 in this occasion.
Well, Matty Cannon said 6 minutes, 4 doing nothing, 130 grand a week. You know, he's clearly doing something right, isn't he?
Good point, Matty. Have you finished up on the game there, Ian?
Yeah, sorry, that's enough.
Sorry, Matt.
Right, okay.
I know I'm putting my hand up and down, but we did say we were either going to use the me function in our little chat, but Nick keeps forgetting to turn his result. All you hear is that, right? So we're just saying it's us.
Listen, this producing lot ain't easy when you're dealing with a whole. I don't. What do you call a load of clowns? What do you call
triumphant?
I've got Charlton sitting in front of me. That's what I've got. I've got Charlton sitting in front of me.
Mukhtar Butter said, if we get 40 points by Christmas, we can try the youngsters. We got 40 points by Christmas. We won't be doing that, I can tell you, because the parish will have to spend some money and try and get us into into those Europa points. What do you think, Ben?
40 points by Christmas.
That's what Ben
Not much. Has Ben dropped out?
Don't forget my equation, Ben. Don't forget my equation from last week. Okay, I don't know if you saw it, but I actually worked out on our points total as to last week. Okay, if we could actually be safe by February, and wouldn't it be great going into the back end of the season? And since then, we've had another win. Go on.
Now show us.
Ben
Now show us the next 6 games, and then tell me we'll get 40 points by Christmas.
We'll do that. We'll do that towards the end of the show. Right. We'll leave the game there.
I just want to go. I want to go back to Cahill. 7 games and captain already. Has that happened at Palace before? That's how much of a leader the man is. I know Luka was dropped.
I can't hear him. Can anyone hear him?
There were players with more seniority, with more games, that I thought probably would have got the captain's armband, but to give it to Cahill after 7 games shows the impact the bloke's made.
Joe, did you just hear Ian, Joe?
Yeah, drop him out, bring him back for us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly been absolutely. I mean, I can't remember that happening that quickly for a player to come into the club. I just think he's been absolutely fantastic. I did say drop Ian and not Ben.
That's all right. It was fun while it
well, I can hear you too anyway. I just couldn't hear Ben.
Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm amazed. I mean, listen, just getting onto this, people think we're not going to get any more points. And I did say I didn't think we would do. But in thinking about it, Leicester, we've got a hoodoo over Leicester, home and away, right? We've beaten Man City and we've drawn and should have beaten a team that beat Man City today. So Man City coming up should not frighten us. We've won there and we were unlucky to not beat them at our place. So we games against Man City, we are either very close or we get thrashed. That's a simple. It depends what City turns up. But when it comes to Leicester, we're 13-1 up in 4 games, aren't we? Is it 13-1? I know they haven't got anymore.
It's going to come to an end at some stage.
Yeah, but the thing is, not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Joe, do you not think that Wolves beating City today is the worst possible result for us and the 2-week break?
Yes, I do, but it proves that half of me just thinks, City losing to Wolves. I can understand if they lost to Liverpool or a bigger side, but to lose to Wolves and then just almost give the Scousers, is it 8 points they've got a lead already? The BBC are going to be just unbearable now. Yes, pupil Lions.
What was the score after Norwich beat Man City? What was Man City's next score?
I don't know.
It wasn't 8-0, was it?
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, easy. Thank you. Right, move on. Since they were promoted back to the Premier League in 2013, Crystal Palace have won and scored the most penalties of any side in the division. They won 47 and scored 38 penalties. I think we should
top of the league.
Here we are, top of the league. Right, I want to change the subject if you don't mind, but I'm just going to say again.
Nothing. Go on, carry on.
Jill, I want you to do some chat stuff next, please, Jill, if you'd be so kind. While you're looking at that, I want to talk to everybody about the Crystal Palace and Arsenal Football Club Walk and Talk. Now, this is being run by Homesdale Cravatics. You can find him on @HC150 on tour on Twitter. Now, guys, if any of you know Paul, you know that we are going to be involved in this walk. I think Jill and I are going to certainly be doing some part or all of it. I'm not too sure. Ian, you were supposed to be volunteering as well. Some part or all of the walk. Give me the thumbs up. Good lad. Okay. Paul, there's another one for your numbers. Guys, he's looking to get 200 people on it this time. Come and join us. Come and meet the team. Come and meet Paul and the guys. Okay. It's only 12 miles from Selhurst Park to the Emirates on Sunday, the 27th of October. Even if you're not going to the game, come along to it. Come and join us on the walk. Paul's raising awareness for mental health and male suicide. Arsenal fans are also going to come along to help with the cause. Okay, and we're going to have a chat with them. That's the whole point of it. It's time to act. walk and talk event timings and stop-off points, because there are 3 stop-off points en route, okay, are on Paul's page. Please come along, join us on the 27th and 7th for the full 12 miles that Jill and I are going to do, aren't we, Jill? Tumbleweed. Listen, this is a really important subject. All welcome, inclusive events for all abilities. They're not looking to raise money. It's just raising awareness. Come and join us, please, on the day. It'll be really good fun. We'll have a giggle. Jill, from the chat, please.
Claire Davis said Leicester are doing good. They're the ones to watch, in her opinion. Matty Cannon said we're always up for playing the top 6, which is true. Paul Rundle said City will have De Bruyne and Laporte back for the 19th. Graham Daniel said Man City losing 2 games in a row. Doesn't happen. Could do. And Matthew Lucas said, I think we can get points against Leicester and Arsenal in their next 5 matches. It's definitely, well, we got points against both of those 2 teams last year. 3 points away from home, as it happens. And Matt Miller said, Luka is the captain when available. Short of Luka taking his belt off, captain will be the Cahill will be the backup captain. I don't know. Like I've said this before. You know, I can't remember what show we discussed this, but I mean, I saw a game where there were 6 captains of Palace in the same side playing at the same time that have captained our side over a period of time. But playing in the same side, I don't think the captaincy isn't the big deal that everyone, you know, like we try to romanticize it. It is all it is. It's an armband. You don't get to make any decisions anymore. Captains used to make decisions. They don't anymore. All right, it's the backroom staff and the manager and the coaches make decisions. They're just out there, flick the coin, up you go.
I don't know. I think the captain's the conduit between the players and the manager, isn't it? It's him that goes to the manager with the concerns. I know he's also in charge of the bonus pool, isn't he? It's generally him that negotiates that. But I think in actions alone, Cahill is the captain. He's a natural leader, isn't he? But
absolutely, I agree.
Hodgson won't take it off Luka.
No, I don't. I'm saying that. I don't know. He took it off a puncheon. He took it off a puncheon.
Captain.
The only one I can remember is when Pardew took it off Jedinak, and that was the writing on the wall, wasn't it? That was Jedinak gone.
That was a dreadful thing to do.
And Luka has just signed a new contract, so he's not going anywhere. And I should imagine his contract probably reflected he was captain.
Yeah, I imagine he probably is. I mean, it is an honour to captain your side, but it isn't for me a bigger deal. You know, as big a deal as it used to be. That's personally, I don't know. Maybe when you got your club's arm, you know, captain's armband on, and you're standing in the centre circle at Old Trafford, then it is a big deal. You know, so. But for me, it isn't. What we need are leaders with or without an armband. You know, and we've just gained one of the biggest leaders that I've seen at Selhurst in many. You know, it reminds me of the days of you know, the game at Sheffield Wednesday with 4 or 5 leaders in that, and real, you know, players that you would never see diving. You know. I don't know. Maybe it's just changing, but I'm really pleased that Cahill's captain, and if Luka's out, then you know it's good cover for me. So,
right, guys, I'm conscious of the time. It's already 9 o'clock, and we've done very little from the chat. Folks out there in Facebook land, I know you're there. When there's 4 of us on it, it's very difficult to get to all the stuff in the chat. We've got zillions of questions in there. I'm going to go through. I'm going to pick out this lot here. This is all from one guy. Okay, so pick out bits that you want to see, boys. I see Camarasa. This is from Paul Rundle. I see Camarasa was on the bench yesterday, which is a positive. But do you think we are missing out on one of the most potentially creative players and will he ever start a game? That's point 1. Do you think the 2 Macs worked better together yesterday than Luka and Mac? Well, I think we probably covered a bit of that. When Tompkins and Sacco are fully fit, who do you think will partner Cahill? And finally, do you realistically think Palace will go for Batshuayi in January, even if we'll move to a different club than Chelsea? And you know, and he pointed out. So thank you for all of those, Paul. No, all from one guy. Joel, take your pick out. Oh, sorry, Ben's got his hand up. Ben, go.
Right, ready? No, yes. Kelly, no.
Thank you for that, Ben. Jill?
I'm a goldfish, and I can't remember what happened.
Will Camarasa feature more? No.
No, because we have to buy him. I'm pretty sure I was right about that 15 game rule.
Have both the Macs made an impact? Yes. Who do you think will partner Cahill when Sacco and Tompkins come back? I think
Tompkins.
Kelly. What, you think he'd replace Kelly at the minute?
Yeah, because I think Kelly would go right back.
Exactly, and I don't know.
Or will he put Ward at left back?
Well, I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind. And then if it meant that PVA pushed up, but then you got to drop Schlupp, and Schlupp is undroppable by the looks of it. So I don't know.
And finally, will Palace go for Batashwi in January? I say no, but he will in the summer.
Yes, I reckon he will. I just want to go back to Patrick, because I know we talked about him quite a lot. And before the penalty, he hadn't had the best of the game. I personally thought it was his fault for firstly not running to Yarmolenko, or I think it was out in the right hand side, or whoever was allowed basically to come forward and then hit a free crossing. But what he did do, he scored a very good goal. He then upped his game attacking wise, and then the tackle in about the 84th or 85th minute was something you rarely see him do. But it was needed because there was a incoming shot. So I just wanted to cover that before people say, we've hated on PVA and pulled him apart.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No. But what I'm saying is he didn't have a fantastic game, but he more than endeared himself back to everybody in his attitude, and grew, and again, like the team, grew into the game. So I just wanted to cover that off, because the block was quite important, because it was dead centre on the edge of the area, and had he not got it, was a clear shot on goal. So I just wanted to cover that before people say that we never.
Just to go back to the Chelsea question, is would we go for Batashwi in January? I say no, because Chelsea is still going to have that transfer ban, and I think we can go back for that Russian lad.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think it was my son Sam actually mentioned that Russian lad to me the other day. And he said, I still think we're going to go for him. What, Russian lad?
It's Chebalov, isn't it? Chamalov?
Shavlov, something like that.
I think but
his agent's talking us up.
Is he? Ian, you got any more questions for us, mate?
Well, yeah, Beg Agbaranini, he came in and said, we're quietly going about our business, confounding expectations, both TV and radio pundits alike. Doing so without a prolific striker, based on our current form, where do you see Palace finishing come end of the season?
I'll take a stab at that. To any of us. I'll take a stab. I still think we'll finish top half, okay, but I'll plump for 10th, Ben, and it's Ben Agbamoni. Joe, you had your hand up, mate?
Yeah, I'll go 10th as well. Lee Lockwood has just come up with quite a unique thing on the Wilf going to Chelsea thing. If he does go to Chelsea, and if they can get new players in, RLC and Batshuayi for Wilf. Watch that happen. No money to the Manx. Sound business. Can that happen?
Can I answer that? No, because they quantify the value of the deal, and then Palace would have to make that percentage, what they think the deal is worth, a percentage.
Yeah, so that was rubbish, Lee Lockwood. Don't put crap like that in here again.
So no, that can't happen.
He swallows it every time, Lee. Keep doing it, mate. Keep doing it.
Oh, God. Listen, time is knocking on. Ben, in a minute, I'm going to need to drop you down, because I've got to do something towards the end of the show, which I need you.
Well, the kids are going to bed and you lot are boring, so I'll go now anyway.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us, mate. Okay, good to have you back again. It's been too long, and don't forget, old Holyoke's going on holiday soon, so I'm sure there'll be another opportunity soon. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Cheers, Ben.
Right, you two, before we finish up, I've got a couple of things to do. I can't, for some reason, Ben's still on there. I can't get rid of him. Oh, there he goes. He's gone. So, final thoughts on the yesterday's results and how things are running at the moment, boys?
Joe?
Oh, he's thrown me under the bus. I was typing as well.
Well, you just waved your hand.
No.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Right. Yes, listen, it was a great win. As we said from the start of the show, it's a fantastic win. 3 points. We said last week on the pod, with the next 6 games, 6 games, it was 6-game run. 6 points would be a good return. We're already halfway through that. Let's hope we can pick up another couple of draws and maybe even a win moving forward. I think a team winning is a habit, as is losing, and because we're winning, we're becoming harder to beat. I think the team spirit is there again. I think PVA and Ayew alluded to that in their interview.
Post-match chats, I saw that.
While that's ongoing, we just got to make hay while the sun shines. And interestingly, and that's a stat I wanted to bring in earlier, is that it was after the West Ham game last season that Cahill got his first start. And now it's almost gone full circle now, and then it's going to carry on.
Clear number one.
Yeah, exactly, without a doubt. And they've got the faith in him.
Okay, Ian, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us, mate. Because I want to finish up with me and Joel because there's a couple of other bits we got to do, mate. Cool. You've been a superstar as always. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. On that subject, before we carry on, Jill, Paul Holden in the chat said, "Are you guys on next Sunday?" And no, we're not, Paul. It's the international break next week, so we're going to we're going to bin it off for a week if you don't mind. And so I won't be here. Jill certainly won't be here, will you, Jill?
I won't be, no. And so just to cover what we're talking about for 6 to 8 weeks before the run up to this trip that I'm going on, although it's a holiday, some of you guys have been fantastic and you've been sending stuff to us, taking stuff around to Nick's house, certain people, giving Nick stuff to me. Yeah, I mean, it's just been an amazing response. I mean, myself and my wife are taking thousands of coloured pencils and plain pencils, just stationery, coloured pens, gel pens, felt tip pens, just tons and tons of stuff. But we've also got some surprise. We're not going to actually tell. I'm just going to tease you a little bit, but some surprise stuff that we're taking out there. I'm going to do some filming as well, and it's really going to help the stuff that we're doing out there for some local villages that don't really ever see tourists. Or last time I was out there, I went to a place that they'd never seen a white man, which was really strange on an island that's only 7 miles by 3 miles across. But this time we're going out and we're meeting more and more people out in the sticks. We're going to give to 2 kindergartens to children who are 3 months old to 6 years old. And we're going to 2 schools and we are giving them certain bits and pieces. Also, I know many of you guys, John and a few others have given me their old shirts. I will be handing those out randomly to adults and some of the fellas that I still talk to over there because we've been out there for quite a few times now. So if you end up going to Cape Verde on the island of Sal and you see the Palace shirts, I know that few people have already given shirts away out there, but I will be giving quite a lot of shirts away out there. So I really appreciate that. And like I said, sometime we're going out there for a couple of weeks, and sometime in the very near future, there will be some video of stuff that we're doing. And I just wanted to say that we really appreciate everything that you've done, going through to people that have personally contacted me and asked my bank details and given me, sizable amounts of money. It wouldn't matter if you gave me £1 or gave me 50 quid or whatever. It's people have come up and they've donated to our bank account as well, the Reddenbury Review bank account. So what we're going to video a few bits and pieces of stuff that you've given it to people, and also what we're taking a fair amount of cash out there to have stuff made that you guys have donated to. So the appreciation is heartfelt, and I really appreciate that. And like I said, you'll all see the results of that sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks when we've come back, cut the videos up and edited them in. But yeah, I just want to say I appreciate it. We're going away on Thursday, so it's exciting times. I've never looked forward to a holiday that's not actually going to be a complete holiday forever, and I'm really excited by this. So, like I said, from myself and Lisa, for everyone that's donated, whatever you've given us has been absolutely hugely appreciated, and I really thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, mate. And on my behalf, I shall miss you next week and the week after. So have a great holiday. folks out there, look, let's have a look at where we are. We're 6th in the league. Okay, a little bit of realism. We got October was always going to be a tough month. Okay, we got some stonking matches coming up. Everything there's points to be had. We've already got 3 points in October, so happy days. But let's keep our feet on the ground. Doing really well. People in the chat, I'm reading all your messages now. What we're supposed to do next Sunday, our Sunday night, is give it up to Red and Blue Review. And do you know what? It's lovely for you to say all those kind words. I hope by me producing tonight and pushing buttons hasn't created any big issues for you guys. It's something that's not easy to do. Holding a 4-way conversation and button pushing at the same time. So hats off to Greg and Lucy and Sean for doing it week in, week out. But holding a conversation isn't easy. I hope it wasn't too bad for you. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us tonight. Joe, as always, mate, thank you, buddy. It's not the same without you. Have a great holiday, pal. You've done a superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick Philpott, and on behalf of the whole team, and it's getting bigger every week, on behalf of us all, have a safe couple of weeks, and we will be back post-Man City. You take care. God bless everybody, and thank you for watching. Good night, all.
Good night.